Attention all women seeking a revolution in pleasure. Dive into a world of empowerment. The OMG Yes Women's Sexual Health Library is here. Backed by groundbreaking research, OMG Yes is on a mission to break taboos and make understanding female pleasure open and honest. Unlock the secrets with the sexual knowledge of 20,000 women in just minutes. Animations, videos, audio, or text. And here's the game changer. It's only a one-time payment for a lifetime of access. Click the link in our show notes for a limited time deal of only $49. Pay once and get the whole library forever. Don't miss out on this limited offer. Welcome to the Wisconsin Wellness Podcast. Today, we have Eric McHugh. Eric McHugh is a digital entrepreneur, president of ShopX, and co-founder and chief sales officer of Dating.io AI-powered matchmaking. Finding romance using AI matchmakers, the first of their kind. Hi, Eric. Thank you so much for being here today. Today, we're going to be talking about meditation, but also your dating app. And I'm just curious to hear a little bit about you.
Hey, Laurie, it's nice to meet you. And I'm really grateful to be here and grateful for all your listeners for tuning in. My name is Eric. I'm 30 years old, blessed to be living in beautiful Southern California. My main hobbies right now are chess, Muay Thai, reading, anything under the sun. I love the sun. I think I should get as much sun as possible. And meditation. I just got back from a 10-day Vipassana meditation retreat in Joshua Tree, California. It was a beautiful transformative experience that I recommend everyone try. In terms of work, I believe that everyone is happiest when they're serving other people. And I believe God, the universe, or the creator, I think that consciousness, I think they give each of us individual gifts. So I'm the best Eric McHugh in the world. You're the best Laurie in the world. So how do we best serve other people? We take advantage of our individual gifts that should manifest in different ways to serve the collective. For me, it's resulted in two companies. The first is ShopX, a Web3 e-commerce platform. The second, which is cool because it really does help build community and good for mental health, is Dot. And that's the first ever AI-powered matchmaking service. And our goal is to spread as much love as possible. We feel relationships are very essential for just overall human happiness.
Eric, would it be okay if we dive into that? Because I'm so very curious to hear more about that. Because among our therapists at Shoreside, we have amazing clients that are single and wanting to date and having difficulties with finding someone they're connected to. Maybe they don't want to go to a bar to find somebody. And so it's, what else do I do? And so this comes up so frequently that I feel like it would be so great to hear about how it works. And if you could tell me more.
Yes, I would love to tell you more. So what Dotting does is we're the first ever AI-powered matchmaking service. We auto-generate profiles for users based on their digital footprint or social media. And then we create matches based on other users' digital footprint or social media. And the goal of this is to put people in contact with each other with something like where they can hopefully form an authentic relationship. And this solves problems that are presented by the dating app industry. So the first big problem, and most people are on the dating apps, whether they admit it or not, it's just the time we live in. The first big problem with the dating app industry is the top 5% of users. They get access to 95% of the people on the app. So a lot of people aren't even seeing other people. So this creates a skewed marketplace where it's imagine one person gets access to 20 options. This encourages ghosting, just rude behavior, just next. Oh, we met at the bar. I don't care. I have 90 other options.
Right.
The second problem is, let's be real, Tinder, dating apps, they're hot or not. And just so you know, most dating apps are owned by Match.com. So there's somewhat of a monopoly factor. So once a dating app reaches 1 million users, Match comes in and buys them. So nothing's ever going to change. But most dating apps are hot or not. Are they hot? Swipe yes. No, swipe left. And that's not good for authentic connection. And the third and most interesting issue is the incentive structure behind the dating apps. So if you think about it logically, what happens if Tinder matches a happy couple and they get married? That happy couple then leaves the dating app. Then Tinder loses money. Goldman Sachs is working with Tinder. Goldman Sachs does not like losing money. So this creates an incentive of churn marketing. So they make their money by keeping someone on a Ferris wheel. So if you ever heard of someone download the app, delete the app, download the app, delete the app, that's baked into the incentive structure. And so what Dotting does to fix this is we auto-generate profiles for users based on the digital footprint and use that to create matches. So I get 3 matches a day, let's say Ashley, Kimberly, Jane. So I'm not bombarded with matches. So I want people to learn more about the people. I'm like, okay, Jane seems interesting. Tell me more about Jane. She connected her Facebook. She's the youngest. You're the oldest. Our pattern recognition software says this works well. She connected her Instagram. Okay, you both go to a lot of national parks. That's cool. Oh, she connected her LinkedIn. You both went to a Ford University instead of the same thing. There's a match. Oh, did you know that you both listened to this one obscure artist on Spotify? Oh, this artist has a upcoming concert. Would you like me to try to suggest a date with Jane? The date is suggested. And from Jane's side, she sees my profile suggest a date. She sees who I am as a person. So she sees my digital footprint because obviously from the woman's side, I get that meeting a stranger online can be more, but it's more of a risk for a woman to meet some random stranger online. So you can see my digital footprint. You can see how many mutual connections we have. We go on that date and let's say we fall in love, we get married, we do all that thing. Then the app can act as a relationship butler. So it'd be like, okay, you guys haven't been on a date in 3 months. We suggest the place you had your second date, they're having half off sale of ice cream. Here's a babysitting service for your kids. Go here. Or it's, oh, Jane's birthday is coming up in 2 weeks. You probably forgot it, but you don't want to mess this up. But she just added this thing to her Pinterest board. It may make a good gift. And long term, I see it as a community building app too, because the dating market is just an easy penetration point just because dating apps suck. But I can find me 5 dudes in my local area who are into meditation, who are into Muay Thai, or around my same age, who may want to hang out. So I can help build communities as well.
Wow, is that cool? That is really cool. So I'm going to go back a little bit with some of the things, because I just do want to highlight some of the things that you've said. Percent, I agree with those pain points. Somebody is either making that, like you said, hot or not. The first, I'm just going to look at somebody and swipe. It gives a very two-dimensional way of finding a partner, which doesn't really align with how we are as humans. It might align with our instinct to feel good for that second, or we might think, oh, this person's attractive. Yes. And then another person, maybe just an automatic no, when that's not also how we work as humans. There's many times when I'm talking to individuals where their first face-to-face meeting with somebody isn't love at first sight. It might be, I knew this person for a couple weeks or a year, or I wasn't in the right headspace to be open this first time I saw this person. Actually, with me and my husband, that's what happened. I joke that because I was getting over someone at that time where he was my friend. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, wow, he's really good looking. And I didn't ever see this before. And it was just this very odd aha moment. And with your app, you take what could be an issue and make that a lot easier by saying, this is all of the things that you're interested in, and this is a bit of your background, and these are some things that link you together so that there is this additional link, not just, what somebody's writing about themselves, not just what a photo does. So it gives more of a real place to start, which is also something that I hear from people. I don't know where to start with dating apps.
Yeah, no, you hit the nail exactly on the head. So I like to say that we put our users in the position to succeed. So for example, or like my example, I mentioned that Cupid suggested a Spotify concert because we both follow artists. Let's say it didn't. So me and Jamie go on that date. Stuff like that could come up organically. So like it didn't suggest it, but that just could come, oh, that's another thing we have in common. And then we could take it from there. And the cool thing about our app is I view money as a neutral thing. So I think if you provide a tremendous amount of value for a lot of people and you make a lot of money, good for you. You'll probably amplify that and do some good in the world. So our dating app model is how does dating make our money? We're going to make our money not from a user base, not a subscription base, but if let's say me and Jane, we plan the date through Cupid AI that suggested, we pay through the app, we would get a commission per date. So our incentive is to get people on dates, because again, you can't fall in love through the phone. You have to meet in person. You have to pick up on their vibe, pick up on their energy. So if you can get on dates, that's great. And another cool thing is AI really is just at its core, it's pattern recognition at scale. So the longer you're on dating, the higher chance you get good matches. Here are 3 matches, I say no. Here are 3 similar matches, no. Cupid will pick up on that. Okay, he's different. Let's try someone new or someone different. I start saying yes. It picks up on that. It starts giving me better matches. So that happens me based on my matches, but also across the whole platform. So it just gets more and more optimized.
Oh, that is also really cool because that is another thing which what I hear with apps is that it is tends to be like it gets more and more discouraging along the way. And
Yes.
so there it's not a progression for a lot of people when they're on the apps. Whereas this sounds like it is getting better and better at knowing what you like and knowing your interests and knowing who you might be wanting to connect with, which is a totally different feeling that somebody would get during the process. But the reality is, if that's where somebody is making their money, then you have to look at the logical piece of how are they getting paid? And we all do need to make money to live and survive and do our work. This is a different way that's really mutually beneficial. You're
Yes.
right. Like the people that are using the apps will get some benefit of knowing, oh, yeah, this is a place we liked, or this is a place that I liked, or reminders of that versus it being something that somebody would only benefit from if they were still in a stuck, pained position.
Yes. And so the feeling we're going for with our app is we want to have people hope. Because if you're
Yeah.
in the dating apps, a lot of people can feel hopeless. And again, I think another important point. So like whenever I create products, I think of power versus force. I think of forceful relationship as unsustainable. Unsustainable because one party loses, one party wins. So eventually the losing part is I'm out of this. But a powerful relationship is where both parties are winning. So that's sustainable because both parties are winning. They'll stay in that relationship.
It goes out of that zero sum mentality of you would both be taking something away from that.
Yeah, exactly. After the match happened, we hope we hope people match because from our point, if they like our service and our app knows both of them through their digital footprints, it helps them plan the dates. It makes it convenient for them. The users are going on more dates, dating more revenue. We can expand our team, matching more and more people, hopefully turn the tide a bit.
Mhm.
Because I think with dating apps and social media, I think that really took a toll on positive relationships between
Yeah.
people. So anything we can do to swing that back to loving family, if that's what they're looking for, I'm all for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything gets better if people are feeling better and feeling better in their relationships. It just will benefit so much more than I think even we recognize in a day to day. Relationships impact our friendships and our work and our mental health. And all of that comes from a good relationship with ourselves and a good relationship with the people around us.
I know exactly because like I think everyone is connected in I think everyone is connected in some way. So if someone's having a bad day or they're negative or something, you can feel it when you talk to someone because I think both
Mhm.
positive and negative energy are contagious. And a big part of someone's energy is the diet that they consume. And that's not just food, it's the content they consume, but their relationships are also a major part of that. So if we can help fix or create better relationships. And I'm thinking this down the line. If people are having families in a good, loving household, 2 to 3 generations down the line, that'll have major positive benefits for everyone involved.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I'm curious, going back into the app a little bit more of the logistics, how does somebody go about, is it just like a download where they go to the Apple store and download the app and go from there? How does it actually work?
Yeah. So right now we're in the waitlist phase because we're still
Okay.
training our AI based on data. And we're also waiting on Apple approval, which is taking some time.
Mm.
So right now, if you want to join the waitlist, connect your social media, start getting insights about yourself, you would just go to our website, dating.io. But hopefully, honestly, it should have been like last week or so. But hopefully, hopefully within a month or so, we'll be approved on the Apple Store. Then you just download the app and then just interact like any normal dating app as usual. And you'll love this feature too. Another cool thing we're building out is a tappy tap feature. So you could take out your
Oh,
phones and then let's say we meet in person. Let's say we're just trying to be friends. We could take out our
yeah.
phone, tap each other's phones, and it'll show us stuff we have in common. So imagine you got a workplace. You're like, oh, this person's new. Maybe I want to hang out with them, reach out, take out your phone. Oh, I would suggest this type of get together. So that's something we're building out. I think that's gonna be fun. I think that's what's gonna make it go viral, especially on college campuses when a couple key people get that, they start to say, hey, download this, tap, see what we get.
Mhm.
So it'll be fun.
Yes. Yeah. And it's actually, wow, that's going to be a game changer because one of the things that is often talked about is how technology keeps us from people and keeps
Yeah.
us from having organic conversations and connections. But what if it was actually doing the opposite?
And then long term, obviously, let's say you're married. Let's say you have a sister, she's unmarried, and we would get along. if we're both on the app, it could give us a notification. And this is just feature talk right now. It's just features we want to build presently. Obviously, things could change, but imagine if we're both on the app. It's, hey, your sister's name is Jane in this example. Hey, you and Jane, we're both in the same coffee shop. You guys may be a good match. Would you like to meet in person? And that encourages them to meet in person. And then we'll see. And we're also building out, again, because female comfort is super important because that's just something that's usually completely ignored, unfortunately. But we're also building out like a VR version and like a phone call thing. So if you want to do like a FaceTime call with an app before you meet up with the person, that's encouraged. And we're also building out the VR version with Apple. So if you want to meet in VR, you can do that as well. Right now, obviously, I think Apple's following the same blueprint as their iPhone just because it works so well. Because right now the VR goggles are expensive. No one has them. But I'd say in 5 to 10 years, they'll lower the price to $1,000 or something. Then everyone has them. So we're going to be first movers in that case too.
Oh my gosh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, 100%. That safety piece is so important. One of those things where the more hopefully we're all focusing in on that idea, the better everyone is going to feel. Because if, for instance, if a woman's not necessarily feeling all that safe, the person meeting is going to get that positive experience either. So there is that idea of there's going to be a closed offness feel. That energy is going to feel very different.
You can always, and men are pretty bad at detecting energies. So we need all the help we can get. But no, if a woman is closed off, you should be able to tell. And even if she goes on a date, it's not likely to go well. And if you think about it too, that's opportunity cost from your actual match. And that's because of the feeling of unsafeness. So we think the 3 main factors we built to help with this are, I think the number one is going to be like the mutual friends type thing. Okay, you have 20 mutual friends on Facebook. Yep. I can do my detective work. The second one is the AI feature itself. So just like ChatGPT, you can ask questions. Since we have their social media footprint, you can ask questions about them. And it's not just like a dating app where you have 6 profiles in a bio. Obviously, the more profiles connected, the more holistic view you can get of the person. And yes, they can fake it. Obviously, Instagram is the highlight reel. LinkedIn's a professional highlight reel. But the more you have, it makes it safer.
Yeah.
And the third system we built in place is a karma system. So if you're on Reddit, they have a karma system. So we give karma points for good behavior and we take away points for bad behavior. So if you're ghosting, you're just rude, you obviously get bad karma points. But if you're pleasant, people like going out, it just doesn't have to work out. If you actually show up to the dates, you'll get good karma points. And obviously the good karma points will match with the good karma points and the bad will match with the bad.
Oh my gosh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Because that is another thing that so many people, again, going into, I don't know if people really understand the impact of some of that. And so using something like that is showing people, number one, that how you act does matter to another person. They're going to feel a whole lot of different feelings that are most likely negative if somebody doesn't show up or if somebody ghosts. And the other thing is, if there is that acknowledgement that if I do this behavior and this person's going to feel all of this stuff, maybe then I feel actually like I am more important, meaning like what I do actually does matter. So I think that there's a both thing. Like it signifies I care about other people, but it also is saying I matter enough to recognize that I impact other people. I think sometimes when somebody has that lower self-esteem, they might not even really take in that their behavior is going to negatively affect someone else. And they might say to themselves, oh, it doesn't really matter. Or they don't know me, so they don't care.
It does matter. And it matters a lot because let's say person A, they treat person B badly on the date because they don't care. Let's say they're just like, they're dealing with their own stuff because everyone is dealing with their own stuff, but they treat the person badly. What's going to happen to that person? They're going to feel it. And then they're going to take that onto their next relationship and onto the next relationship and onto the next relationship because everything is related. Everything is like a cause and effect in my mind. So you can have, and again, like not everything's meant to work out. Let's say person A and person B, they meet up. They aren't meant to be for whatever reason, but they have a positive date. Because I think a date should just, like at first, I think it should just be a fun experience where two people just have fun. So if they have a fun date, it doesn't work out for them. Like they're just not compatible, which is perfectly fine, but they take that fun experience into their next date and then it just spreads like that, which is something that the apps, again, they're pushing against. And I have a pretty interesting conspiracy theory about the apps.
Ooh.
Yeah. So so most of the users on the apps a lot of them are bots too, just FYI. They're getting better with AI. So that's going to be a problem going forward because they're trying to keep attention. So I recently read all the apps for market research because obviously building a competitor
Right.
matrix to see what works. Because obviously there's some designs, like what works with
Yeah.
them, we're just going to incorporate with us. But when I download the app, and keep in mind, they're all owned by Match.com, and I'm good at sales. So I see it like a funnel where, so
Yeah.
once I download the Tinder apps, I put my race, religion, all that stuff, and I put what I'm looking for. So as soon as I did that, I started getting ads for very niche dating apps. Like I put, I'm looking for Asian or like a white girl. I start getting niche dating app suggestions for those specific things. And it's getting progressively just more and more depressed, like more and more depressing. So now I'm getting
Oh,
apps for, would you like to meet a Ukrainian bride tomorrow? Would you like to fly out like a Filipino bride tomorrow? So I think the end of the funnel is like the OnlyFans call girl type thing. So I think that's
yeah.
where they're trying to spit you out. And if you think of Match.com
Oh,
as a monopoly, there's that. And I'd be willing to bet somewhere in the terms and conditions when you sign up for Tinder, they can use your data for whatever you need. So when I said I'm Asian, I'm looking for the Asian apps, I'm sure my profile is on those Asian apps. People are like, okay, this is cool because it's exactly what I'm looking for. So they sign up for that. They just
yeah.
fail because the people aren't even on there. The hope is to get worse. And they show you a more aggressive app,
Right.
and it just keeps on going. No proof,
Right.
no nothing, but that's just
Right.
what I've noticed.
This
It's weird. It was
seems-
weird. It was weird.
And I think there's definitely people in general are starting to feel that in a big way as far as what is getting pushed to us. And it would make a lot of sense of really preying on that pain point. Oh, maybe you're not feeling this way now. A couple weeks, maybe you are. And look, we're right here ready for you, ready to help.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Kind and loving Goldman Sachs. But it's also results in, because again, I think this results in a poor relationship for the woman too. Because imagine from the guy perspective, you're on the apps, it's pointless, you're feeling hopeless.
Mhm.
Most of the people you are talking to are just legit bots. Eventually you're just going to have a sour attitude towards dating. So when you do finally get that match with the real girl, you're coming into this with a negative aspect. And I think the outer world it's just a reflection of your inner world. So I feel like, the state's going to suck. It's going to suck. And then it sucks for both parties. And then the cycle of suck continues. But if we can switch that up, I think we'll be in a better place.
I think so too. I love that so much. So Eric, I realize that we didn't get into the meditation area at all, but you know what? I'd love to talk with you again. I did hear a lot about hope today. So maybe there's something you could share with my audience about hope in dating, and we can end there.
Yeah. So in terms of hope in dating, I think everyone's programmed. Like, I think most people want that loving, happy relationship. I think most people want a family. I think most people want a good circle of friends. But unfortunately, they're just placed in a system where that's not incentivized. If you just look at the current culture of social media, how people meet up, it doesn't incentivize like that wholesome, loving family relationship. And that's something we're about to change, whether it be through dating or just meeting in real life in person. All things I think we're switching out of that.
I love that aspect so much of taking something that's been missing from the dating app world, right? And then thinking about how we function as humans, where we want to feel good. We want to feel just like a little bit of those rewards, like you said with the karma part. We want to know, hey, I'm doing all of these things. I'm showing up. I'm being kind. I'm doing this. Because what will happen sometimes is then that negative experience impacts somebody. And then they feel like I've been doing all of this and nothing, and I'm not getting treated well. So I love that idea of shifting the whole experience for people and how that can impact the individual, how that can impact the couple, how that can really impact the whole community as well. Like you were saying with the dates being that forefront of how do we get in person? How do we connect? How do we see each other more?
No, that's the goal. The goal is to spread positivity and one couple at a time.
Yes. So Eric, if somebody wants to check out the app, in touch with you, I will be putting everything in the show notes.
Yeah. So if you want to check out the app, our website is dating.io. You can sign up for the wait list. We should be on the Apple App Store very soon. So hopefully when you listen to this, you can just download the app, start playing around with it yourself. My goal is to be as helpful as possible. So if there's anything I can do to support you personally, my Instagram is Eric D. McHugh, EricDMCHUGH. Feel free to hit me up. Just that little voice note feature is super convenient than typing everything out. So, and again, Laurie, I'm super grateful that you had me. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, Eric. It was really cool talking with you. And if I was single, I'd be getting that app. I would be.
I'm glad you're in a loving, happy relationship. Hopefully we get more of those.
Thank you. All right. We'll talk to you. Thanks again for talking with me.
Yeah.
Bye. Thank you for joining us today on the Wisconsin Wellness Podcast. Remember, your well-being is a priority, and we're here to help support you every step of the way. If you've enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to our podcast for more inspiring content on health and wellness. You can also join our Facebook group to connect with Wisconsin wellness providers by clicking the link in our show notes. Take care of yourself and remember that your well-being is a journey, not a destination. We look forward to you joining us again next time on the Wisconsin Wellness Podcast. Until then, stay well and stay inspired.